we've got women's basketball action early on your Saturday afternoon. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Turillo. Happy to have your company. Jade Barquette joins me this afternoon on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Jade, both of these teams coming off a loss on Thursday night. Both of these teams looking to bounce back.
Absolutely. This Bethune-Cookman team is riding a five-game losing streak. They're going to want to snap that here today against this Jackson State team coming off a narrow loss against FAMU just a few days ago, 68-63.
The Wildcats, of course, fell to Alcorn State on Thursday. Had a chance, cut it to 3 in the late going, but Alcorn State pushed and scored the last 7 points to break away in the last couple of minutes. And I'm sure Coach Creighton's message to the team was, we got to be better at finishing games.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's how you start as well. They started off a little bit sloppy. Both teams kind of was a really slow start to that game. No points scored, and so almost halfway through that first quarter, and then how they ended, it was just a little bit too late. They tried to make that late push and close the gap, but Alcorn State had already established their will in that game, and Bethune-Cookman just couldn't catch up towards the end.
It's now time for the keys to the game, so let's get right into it. For Jackson State, they got to knock down the three-point shot. Jackson State leads the SWAC in three-point percentage, shooting at 33.1%, and they lead the conference in threes made, 120 on the season, shooting an average of 6.7 made threes per game, and they shot 55% from beyond the arc against Florida A&M on Thursday. And for Bethune-Cookman, you got to get to the rim. Jackson State is last in the SWAC and last in all of NCAA Division I in blocks. Just 15 on the season, less than 1 per game. And BCU is second in the SWAC in free throw percentage. Get downhill, get to the rim, score the bucket, or get to the free throw line.
That's an absolutely huge stat for Bethune-Cookman, knowing that Jackson State is last in the SWAC in blocks. That is something that they can use to their advantage. And for Jackson State, they made 10 out of their 18 free throws almost in that game against FAMU. It's a huge opportunity for them to get points, and they just couldn't execute down late. Another thing for Jackson State, though, their bench points in that FAMU game, 29 for them. The contributors off the bench for Jackson State's huge. Bethune-Cookman dealing with a lot of injuries, so don't have that deep of a bench to add that momentum later on in the game.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Jackson State, a senior guard, 5'6", from Bardstown, Kentucky, to transfer from East Tennessee State, Jalea Cotton. Averaged 6.6 points last year at Jackson State, and is the team leader in assists and steals. Will be the on-ball defender for the Tigers. A graduate student guard, 5'9", from Hayneville, Alabama, and a transfer from the Division II level at Shorter University. It's Derica McCall. She's their best three-point shooter, shooting the three on average at 38.3%. In the middle, the graduate student center, 6'4", from Dallas, Texas, and a transfer from Old Dominion in the Sun Belt, Michaela Brown. She leads the team in rebounds per game at 7.2 and blocks, for what it's worth, with 5 on the season. Their top scorer is a senior guard, 5'8", from Olive Branch, Mississippi, and a transfer from North Alabama, Rima Pegues. She leads the SWAC in free throw percentage, shooting at 92% from the charity stripe, and also leads this team in scoring at 10.8 points per game. And the freshman center at 6 foot tall from Omaha, Nebraska, Pierre Noel Chuchioa, is the lone freshman on this starting lineup for Jackson State, averaging 7.7 points and 4.8 rebounds during her freshman season. And for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, it'll be the same 5 they have trotted out the last couple of weeks. Damani Dorsey, a 5'7" guard from Baltimore, Maryland, leads the team in free throw percentage, points, and steals. Tyler Butler had a really great game on Thursday night against Alcorn State. 1 rebound shy of a double-double. She's a 6'1" graduate student forward from Bellevue, Illinois, transfer from Coastal Georgia. Second in the SWAC in blocks with 21, and leads this team in field goal percentage at 48.2. A junior forward from Chicago, Illinois, Sinai Tyler, a transfer from Trinity Valley Community College, is the top rebounder on the squad at 6.5 per game. And Kaylin Peters, after a rough night on Thursday, will look to bounce back offensively. She's a senior guard, 5'11", from Houston, Texas, transferred from Nicholls State, and put up double figures in 3 straight games dating back to last week until Thursday night. We'll get ready for the national anthem, and when we come back, it's the starting lineups and game time here from Moore Gym.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able. As we honor America, today, singing our national anthem is Miss Amber Kim. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amber Kim. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bethune-Cookman University's Richard P. Moore Gymnasium for today's NCAA 1 women's basketball game. Today's game features your Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats and the Jackson State Tigers. Let's meet the visitors. First, the Tigers from Jackson State. Starting guard, a senior, number 5, Jalila Hutton. Starting at guard, graduate number 10, Marika McCall. Starting at center, graduate number 20, Michaela Brown. Starting guard, senior number 21, Rima Magee. And starting at fourth, freshman number 46, Pierre Noel Kuchawa. The head coach is Marvin Richards, assisted by Dylan Howard, Alexa Hope, Michael Morgan, and Pat Richardson. And now, make some noise for your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats! Starting at guard 5'7" senior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 0, Kamani Parkey. Starting at forward 6'1", graduate of Bellevue, Illinois, number 15, Tyler Butler. Starting guard 5'6" junior from Rashida, California, number 23, Madison Holden. Starting forward 6'8", junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 55, Sanai Tyler. And starting guard 5'11", junior from Houston, Texas, number 30, Caleb Peters. The head coach in the fifth season is Janelle Del-Zario.
Starting lineups on the floor, and we're about to get underway here at Moore Gym, the second of 2 games this weekend for the women's basketball teams from Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State. You mentioned a little bit in the pregame, Jade, important for a quick start for Bethune-Cookman today. In the 56-51 loss on Thursday night, they did outscore Alcorn in the second half, but that 13-6 deficit in the first quarter really bit them, and they couldn't catch up the rest of the night.
Yeah, they really just dug themselves into a hole there, and then the entire game, they had 24 turnovers. They're averaging 19.7 a game. That's something they have to clean up, especially here in the first half. Jitters may be a little bit a part of that, but they're on their home court. They have that advantage. They have the crowd behind them backing them. It's just a moment where they have to take a breather and then just play their game, implement their style, and don't let Jackson State just control it from the jump.
Jackson State now in their second year under head coach Margaret Richards. Last season, over 500, 16-15, but just 4-14 on the year, and 2-4 at the start of conference play. A tough start for the Jackson State Tigers. Both of these teams also dealing with some injury issues. Of course, the Wildcats continue to be without Alexandria Johnson and Chanel McDonald. Both of those players likely done for the season. For Jackson State, Ruthie Mbugwa, Mackenzie Stewart, and Lanaya Massene are all out. That's 3 forwards missing for the Tigers in the all blue, going right to left. Wildcats in the all gold, going left to right. Jackson State will start with the basketball. Down low to Tuchawa. And back up top for Derica McCall. Across to Rima Pagis wearing the goggles in that far corner, driving the baseline. And no good on the shot. Offensive rebound, put back up, no good. A third opportunity for Jackson State, and a fourth is eventually called a foul as the Wildcats cannot get on the glass. Jackson State third in the conference in offensive rebounds per game at over 14. And Tuchoa is going to sink the first free throw. Pierre-Noel Tuchoa from Omaha, Nebraska, a freshman. 6 foot tall, also played volleyball in high school. Goes 1 of 2, but it's another offensive rebound and another offensive rebound. The ball is loose and finally grabbed by Kaylin Peters.
Wildcats needed to grab that one, and glad that they did.
Addison Holden will run the point for the Cats. Tyler Butler, who was the top scorer for the Wildcats on Thursday night, hands back to Kaylin Peters. Peters off a left-hand screen will pull up from mid-range, miss it too strong. The rebound grabbed by Jalea Cotton. Cotton tries to push the pace. The ball's deflected across to Pagis. She'll put up a 3. Off the glass, no good, and Butler grabs the miss. Holden wants to run. Has Dorsey up ahead of her. She tries to go all the way herself and commit the offensive foul. We saw the foul count get pretty high pretty quickly for the Wildcats on Thursday, and a lot of them were offensive fouls, illegal screens, charges, and the like.
Especially as they got down deeper into the game. The discipline in those areas is a real big difference maker. Once you get down the stretch, Madison Holden just needs to be aware of that. They do have Jordan Brooks on the bench, so that we'll see interchange a little bit, the two of them, but she's been a point producer for the Wildcats they want to see on the court.
Jackson State turns the ball over. Jillian Cotton throws the ball into the men's locker room there on that far side.
You just saw McCall, number 10 for Jackson State, just put her arms up in the air, just trying to calm her team down a little bit. You see the jitters that Jackson State's playing with. The Wildcats need to use that to their advantage and then get some points on the board right now.
They'll start on the left wing with Kaylin Peters. She goes around the Butler screen to the free throw line, gets inside, right-hand layup, too strong. Ball on the floor, rebound by Butler. She'll kick out to Holden. And set the screen on the baseline. Holden goes up and under for the layup. Good start for Madison Holden. The guards pretty much across the board were frustrated on Thursday offensively for the Wildcats as only Damani Dorsey scored in double figures. Broken play, Rima Pagis finds herself wide open underneath.
Wildcats tried to double team there and just got beat on that defensive play.
Holden will go right in front of head coach Margaret Richards for Jackson State. Shania Tyler at the top of the key. Now Damani Dorsey steps inside, takes a long 2, off the iron, no good. Rebound to Cotton, as Jackson State is owning the glass early on both sides. Down low to Patton, who's just checked in. And kick it back out for McCall. They tried to go down low again, and it'll stay Jackson State basketball. They're trying to get to big number 20, the 6'4" graduate student, Michaela Brown. They actually correct that. Said the Wildcats get the ball. Rima Pagis takes a seat. Averaging over 10 per game, Rima Pagis. No Wildcat averaging in double figures on offense this year. The closest is Damani Dorsey at 8.7 points per game. Shania Tyler kicks it back to Dorsey. She'll try and beat McCall off the dribble. Step back for a three off to the right. Hoovering down the rebound. Wildcats really looking to press in the backcourt here as they tip that ball out of bounds.
Daimani just takes that shot, another three-point opportunity for her. I love the confidence that she's shooting with. Doesn't make it, but then goes right back on the defensive side, blocks that pass from going through.
This Wildcats team shooting under 30% as a team from beyond the arc. Daimani Dorsey just 22%. At the free throw line, here's Patton in traffic. Backdoor cutting pass to Cotton. Lost the ball, and it'll be Wildcat basketball.
Number 14, Grant enters the game for the Tigers.
Layla Grant, the freshman, 6'2" from Springfield, Missouri. He's their team leader in field goal percentage at over 52%. Will come in for Jackson State. I think at every stoppage, Margaret Richards is changing something about her team. The Wildcats have not had a substitution yet. Kaylin Peters lost the ball as she was going up for a layup. And these teams trade turnover for turnover. 3 turnovers for Jackson State, 2 for the Wildcats here in the early going. Cameron O'Neill controls the ball for the Tigers. The junior from Hiram, Georgia. Picks up a dribble, needs to go somewhere with it. Rotates down low to Grant. Her layup is missed.
That all started with Daimani Dorsey on the defensive end. Here she is on the offensive side.
Has to veer away to keep that ball from going out of bounds on the long pass. Coach Janelle Creighton Del Rosario calls a play. It'll be Kaylin Peters attacking. Good defense by O'Neill. And the Wildcats will have to reset with 9 on the shot clock. Tyler looking for an outlet, finds Holden with 5. Holden, step back, takes the straight on 3, no good. Madison Holden continues to struggle from beyond the arc, just 2 of 33 on the season from deep. Kicked out for a wide open 3 for Patton, good. And that is what Jackson State wants to do, create wide open looks from beyond the arc. And immediately a steal off the inbounds pass. And they kick it out for another 3. This is Wilkinson, misses it short, but an offensive rebound for Patton. Angel Wilkinson had a team-high 18 on Thursday night against Florida A&M in the Jackson State loss. Left-hand layup for Patton is good, and it's all Jackson State in the last 2 minutes. It's now 8-2. Wildcats will slow things down here, look for horns. Holden goes left. They'll dump it down low to Tyler, and a really good job by Grant to poke that ball away. And we'll get a foul in transition as the Wildcats prevent the easy layup the other way. And we'll get the first quarter media timeout. Conference play is finally here. You don't want to miss a second of the madness at Moore Gym. Single game tickets are available now starting at just $10. Get yours today at bcuathletics.com/tickets or call the ticket office at 386-481-2465. Student admission is always free. Well, I talked about in the keys to the game, the Wildcats trying to get downhill, get to the rim. They've tried, but Jackson State has done a really good job moving their feet inside the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just defending that space so well and making Bethune-Cookman just play on the outside, something that they didn't see last game against Alcorn State. They really were just trying to let them have the outside. Jackson State pressing them wherever they are on the court. And then on the defensive end, BCU has had great opportunities to defend. Daimani Dorsey on the last play before that ball had gone out of bounds. She's the SWAC preseason defensive player of the year. She's demanding her team to be in certain areas on the court. She did a fantastic job of that. It's that second layer of defense closer to the rim that they have to be disciplined in, because Jackson State, what they're doing is they're getting it inside and then they're pushing it back out because they see Bethune trying to crash inside once they are inside.
In that 68-63 loss to Florida A&M on Thursday, Angel Wilkinson had a team-high 18. Jalea Cotton was the only other Jackson State Tiger in double figures with 10. But they were 10 of 18 from three-point range. Almost half of their buckets were threes in that contest. Meanwhile, the Wildcats shot under 50% from the floor on Thursday night. Jackson State, the 8-2 lead of the basketball. Patton attacks. Here's Wilkinson. Got her shot blocked by Maya Johnson. Loose ball. Dorsey couldn't grab it. And Derica McCall will reset. Here's an outside look and another three for Angel Wilkinson.
Wilkinson knew that was going in as soon as she shot that, was running away already. VCU with some subs in the game now. Can they use those just to spark some momentum, get a different look?
This is Maya Johnson, had a pretty good game on Thursday. Heading back to Janessa Kelly. Kelly around the screen, tries to throw the pick and roll to Johnson. She works inside and travels. And they're going to bring Tuchawa back. And they're going to use Tuchawa and Brown to try and double team Maya Johnson. Wildcats will pick up full court here. Down 11-2. Wildcats scoreless over the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds after taking a 2-1 lead early. Another corner three for Jackson State is good. Derica McCall. Jackson State, as we knew they would, lighting it up from outside. 3 of 5 from deep, and it's 14-2.
That's how they're going to rack up points, is just that consistent three-point shooting and finishing.
And an offensive foul for an illegal screen on Maya Johnson. She had 2 of those on Thursday night. And the scoreless run and 13-0 scoring run for Jackson State continues. We talked about slow first quarters. Doesn't get much slower than this.
No, you are correct.
Cameron O'Neal dribbles into a double team. Wilkinson open again. This time too strong with an offensive board, and Tuchawa puts it back in unopposed. So the Wildcats on the floor right now, it's Janessa Kelly, Jordan Brooks, Maya Johnson, Derasia Pitts. Here's Brooks, tries to answer with a 3, no good. Good box out by Tuchawa. Brown, left open for 3, but they'll choose to cycle it down to Tuchawa against Johnson. And she scores, up and under. And timeout, Bethune-Cookman. 17-0 run for Jackson State. It is 18-2.
Tuchawa just used her body and her physicality to just bully the Wildcats there and get that one to the rim. They're constantly moving on the offensive end as Jackson State. When you look conversely at VCU on the other end, they kind of look a little bit stagnant when that ball is shot. The rebound, they're a little bit reactionary to it. I like to see them move a little bit more and just be more prepared for that ball coming out. Not making it seem like they're going to miss it every time so they're ready, but they're there when the opportunity arises so they can put it back quickly and not allow Jackson State to have an opportunity.
Jackson State's 2 conference wins are on the road at Alabama State. They won 62-54 on the 10th of January. And then at home against Prairie View A&M, they cruised to a 62-43 win over Prairie View A&M last Saturday. Their losses are to Alcorn State by 3, to Alabama A&M by 10, and to Texas Southern by 14. But have come in and put their foot down early on Saturday afternoon. We've seen the Wildcats put in the second unit here in the last couple of minutes. And I'd like to see them trying to work more for outside shots with both Jordan Brooks and Janessa Kelly in the game. Coach Creighton Del Rosario taking a timeout to try and slow down some of this Jackson State momentum. Wildcats scoreless over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes now. And it's a 17-0 run for the Tigers during that time. High post to Derasia Pitts. Back for Dorsey, who's checked back in after the timeout. She throws up a layup because she knew she was going to get fouled by Wilkinson, had her arm hooked. And the Wildcats will go to the line for the first time today. Correction, that was McCall will be called for the foul. A chance to slow the game down and get some well-deserved points. 5 minutes and 59 seconds, the scoreless drought for the Wildcats, and it remains as Dorsey misses the first free throw. She's the best free throw shooter on the team at 85.5%. Got the second one, and the scoreless streak is broken for the Wildcats. Still down 18-3. Wilkinson in the corner. She got double teamed. Back to the top for Cotton. And the ball is ripped away by Dorsey. Damani Dorsey flips it down low, looking for Johnson. The ball ricochets out of bounds, and it'll be Jackson State's ball. I would have liked to see Damani Dorsey maybe attack there on her own. It looked like Maya Johnson wasn't really set, ready for that pass.
Yeah, I don't think she was either, and that BCU's doing a good job of double teaming everywhere on the court. They're getting to their spots quickly. That ball on the offensive end for the Wildcats was a result of their defensive effort. Like you mentioned, I would have liked Dorsey to just take that one herself, maybe fake it to Johnson instead. Wilkinson
against Johnson. We'll cycle to the left-hand wing for O'Neal. O'Neal against Dorsey. Across to McCall. Wilkinson has to keep that ball in bounds, but barely. It'll stay with Jackson State, deflected out by Kaylin Peters. And Rima Pegues is going to come back in. Scored the first 2 points for Jackson State, has been out since, only played the first 3 minutes. Rima Pegues, their top scorer and their top free throw shooter. Top free throw shooter in the conference, Rima Pegues.
I like her goggles. I'm a contacts girl personally. I could never wear goggles, but I appreciate her for holding it down for us.
Damani Dorsey will tie it up, give the ball back to the Wildcats on the possession arrow.
Do you wear contacts or glasses?
I'm a glasses person. I got my.
Okay.
I'm not wearing them right now. I got my glasses over here. I'll probably put them on
some point.
At some point.
It's gonna be a long day.
But no, definitely not a contacts person.
Oh.
Madison Holden gets to the free throw line, pulls up, and it falls off the rim. So Holden's got both of the Wildcats' field goals. She's 2 for 3.
That's where she's going to be most effective, right in that mid-range.
Of course, we're missing the services of the mid-range queen, Chanel McDonald, out for the year with an ACL. Brown, in the midst of a ton of bodies down low, battles through, got the shot up, and it's tipped out to Holden. Wildcats will run. Holden against Pegues. And she slipped down, and that'll be a travel.
Unfortunate there for the Wildcats. Johnson doing a fantastic job of just staying with Brown on the defensive side. Tries to get that ball up quickly to Holden, and then an unfortunate mistake to slip on the ground. That has happened so much to the Wildcats, and there's not a stat that you can say to back that up with how much they've had those unforced errors and those moments where the ball just slips out of their hands or they miss it entirely. It's just unfortunate for them. It takes the wind out of their sails.
Tyler Butler checks back in for the Cats. She was big on Thursday, but right now she loses to Chowa. A lot of wrestling going on. They'll call a jump ball. Dariesia Pitts did a really good job to scamper back to prevent the putback from T'Challa.
T'Challa has done such a good job of just sprinting right to the rim, just trying to get herself in on the play, whether that be with the ball or to get the rebound too.
Tyler Butler back in the game for the Wildcats. She had a team-high 13 points and 8 boards on Thursday night. The step back for Patton. She puts it up and almost goes off the window. She's gonna get it back. That can't be a shot clock violation, and that hit the rim, so the shot clock didn't reset. We're gonna have to go to the monitor to figure out how much time should be left on the clock. There's 20 seconds left on the game clock. They're gonna put 17 on the game clock. And sometimes the shot clock button can be a little sticky. Sometimes it doesn't work. I've worked shot clock before. Of course, we thank everybody on the table crew today and all season long. Pegues with a 2-second different shot clock per game clock. Nice baseline drive by O'Neal, got her shot rejected by Butler. 10 seconds left, Madison Holden trying to find something to do with the ball. With 3 seconds. Creates space, lets it go, and misses off the window. And it is all Jackson State at the end of one, 15-8. They used a 17-0 run over a 6-minute span in the middle of the quarter before the Wildcats scored the last 4 points of quarter number 1. Conference play is finally here. You don't want to miss a second of the madness at Moore Gymnasium. Single game tickets are available now, starting at just $10. Get yours today at bcuathletics.com/tickets or call the ticket office at 386-481-2465. Student admission is always free. Do you love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats, Michael Torino, and featuring the expertise of Bethune-Cookman sports information staff. Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune into 1380 WBLE Daytona Beach every Saturday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. Speaking of Hail Wildcats Radio, new episode out now.
Yes.
On all your favorite podcast platforms. We break down the Wildcat basketball team's trips to Mississippi and Arkansas last week, as well as track and field, tennis, and a whole lot more. That's Hail Wildcats Radio.
It's about to be crossover season mania, so Hail Wildcats Radio is your place to get all of the summarized news about the craziness going on here. Hey, and I listened to it on the way here. It sounds pretty good.
Don't remind me that we got 20 days, less than 20 days until softball first pitch.
So excited.
We were out there yesterday at softball
Yes.
practice doing some preseason content.
Yes, I'm so excited. 17 freshmen, 18 new people for head coach Laura Watton in her 20th season with Bethune-Cookman. Talk about someone that has cemented a legacy here. That is that coach. I would love to play for her if I was a softball player and had any sort of eligibility left. What a coach and what a program she's built.
And returning for the first time in 2 years, full CatEye Network broadcast production at Sunnyland Park. The new press box is done. We were out there scouting it out yesterday.
Looks great, spacious. Gonna be so exciting.
Tyler Butler, lots of contact, no foul called. It'll be Wildcat ball off the out of bounds. Layla Grant and Tyler Butler colliding under the basket. (18-5) Jackson State at the start of the second quarter. Wildcats are going to need to find some offense and find it quick. Can Madison Holden provide the spark? Yes, she can. She's got all 3 field goals for the Wildcats in the game. 3 for 4 from the floor for Madison Holden. Great drive from Cotton, getting by KP. Kicks it all the way to the corner, then gets it back on a baseline run. She'll get inside, hand the ball off to Grant, and that shot is deflected and out of bounds.
Second block for Tyler Butler today. She had 2 in their game against Alcorn State. Added 2 steals to her as well, and that game is for her, and she's been a huge defensive presence for the Wildcats.
Butler continues to be second in the conference in blocks, behind Nairobi Lewis of Mississippi Valley. Angel Wilkinson from outside, short of the box out for Sonai Tyler.
Huge stop for the Wildcats.
Madison Holden has been the hot hand for the Wildcats here in this one. She'll attack. And it comes back to Kaylin Peters. Peters ices the screen, gets inside. Oh, shorts the layup. Got it back, kicks it out to Holden. Around it goes to Dorsey, little shoulder fake. But her mid-range jumper is too strong and tapped out of bounds. It'll remain with the maroon and gold on the baseline. Wildcats getting some good looks on this possession. You know Kaylin Peters is itching to get back on the score sheet after a 5-point night on Thursday. We got a shot clock reset because that last shot hit the rim. And that pass was a little bit too far in front of Damani Dorsey, and the Wildcats turned it over. We talked about this on Thursday night, Jade, about how the turnovers put so much pressure on your defense. And when you're down by 11 early in the second quarter, you're really putting so much pressure on your defense to get stops, to get turnovers. Wildcats really want to limit opposing teams to under 60 points. That's where they've had their success this year. Nice ball movement by Jackson State, and Tyler Butler denies the entry pass. This time, Damani Dorsey takes it herself, draws the contact, no whistle. There eventually is a whistle, and they'll get Madison Holden for an off-ball foul. Jackson State walling up in the paint.
That's what also will put pressure on your defense, is just those offensive fouls that they dealt with in that Alcorn State game. They're dealing with again tonight, or today here against Jackson State too.
Trying to create space for Jalea Cotton. She gets underneath the free throw line. Kick out Pegis. Three-pointer off the heel. Comes right to Brown, though, for the reset. Already 10 offensive rebounds in the first half for Jackson State. Pegis flips it to the corner. Wilkinson works it down low to Chowa. Scores again, and she has the top scorer in the game with 7 points.
Such a physical presence. She's doing so well for their team, just executing flawlessly, and it looks so natural for her.
Another pass is in the middle of nowhere to Chow, runs the floor. Traveling violation before she put the shot up, so it won't go. As that bails the Wildcats out a little bit. The last 2 times down the floor, some really ill-advised passes for the Cats. Have given some cheap turnovers away. 24 turnovers on Thursday night, already 9 in this first half for the Wildcats. And just 3 of 14 from the floor, all 3 buckets made by Madison Holden.
They have to have somebody else put some points on the board for them.
Will it be Kaylin Peters? She'll go to the free throw line and try some more offense. She took the bump just inside the free throw line from Rima Pegis. Pegis spent 3 years at North Alabama, started 11 of her 74 games, averaged 5 points and 2.7 rebounds. Kaylin Peters, no stranger to the state of Florida, spent her first 2 college seasons at Indian River State at the junior college level. Averaged 10 points over 2 seasons with Indian River. Rattles down the first free throw. Then went to the Division I level last year at Nichols State. Averaged under 10 minutes per game for the Colonels out in Louisiana. Thibodaux, Louisiana, Nichols State. Maya Johnson's going to come back in. She picked up 2 quick fouls in that first quarter. You see a lot of that more token press. The Wildcats will look to disrupt the inbounds pass, then back off and pressure right at the midcourt stripe. Pegis in traffic, flips it out. Good closeout to force O'Neal off the line, but she drains the mid-range jumper. Holden around the Johnson screen. Back to Butler, dumps it down low to Johnson. She works underneath and just too strong on the layup over Markayla Brown. Choa throws the ball, heads up Coach Brittany Williams.
Glad she was paying attention, because she almost got hit in the face with that pass. That was a rocket of a pass from Tachoa, but again, another break for the Wildcats. Can they do something with the ball in their hands right now?
You gotta be careful standing courtside at Moore Gym.
Oh, yeah.
Johnson, top of the key, throws it down low, a little bit too tall for Butler. And the 10th turnover of the first half for the Wildcats. Mid-range jumper, Brown, short. Rebound, Johnson. Holden still has the only field goals in the game for the Wildcats. Johnson gonna go to work against Tuchoa. Throws it up, no good. And Tyler Butler can't save it. Against this double big look for Jackson State, I'd like to see Johnson and Butler, if they're gonna be in the game at the same time, I'd like to see them switch. I'd like to see Johnson go to the 4 and Butler go to the 5. So I think Butler has a little bit better of a finishing touchdown low one-on-one.
She has recently, for sure. Maya Johnson has done a really good job of adding points throughout the game and limited minutes that she has. Tyler Butler has had that little finesse touch towards the back half of this season for the Wildcats.
Now Butler comes out Wildcats will go a smaller lineup with Pitts in the game at the 4.
You have Jordan Brooks as well.
Another 3 is short. Jordan Brooks grabs the shortest player on the floor, gets the rebound. Brooks to Kalen Peters. Pitts fighting for space down low. Good defense by Patton to deny the entry pass. Now Peters goes left, pulls up from 15 feet, misses left. Wildcats 3 of 17 from the floor in the first half. Cotton has that pass deflected and picked off by Dorsey. Can Damani Dorsey get into the game? Nifty baseline move, but the pass to Pitts from Brooks was picked off.
It's exactly what I'm talking about, the reactionary moments from the Wildcats. Brooks, beautiful pass to Pitts, she just wasn't ready for it.
Tough shot, Jalea Cotton from 8 feet with a hand in the face.
And that's what Jackson State will do to you. They'll come right back down the court and then punish you, putting up 2 points. When you thought you had momentum, you were coming up the court. You just can't put anything away for the Wildcats right now.
Wildcats scored the first 4 points of the quarter. Johnson finally gets one to go, and that's a great pass from Derasia Pitts. I'll tell you why, because it was high, up near the collarbone, so all Johnson needed to do was turn and lay it up.
Decisive, literally all she had to do was turn her shoulder.
Grant in the corner, got it. That's a long 2. Well, finally, someone else besides Madison Holden has a field goal for the Wildcats, breaking a 2.5-minute scoreless streak. Pitts out high on the left wing. Wildcats down 26-11. And they're gonna get an off-ball foul charged on Cameron O'Neal for a hold on Brooks. And we'll go to the second quarter. Media timeout as Janessa Kelly will enter the game. Conference play is here, and now it's time to secure your tickets to see Bethune-Cookman basketball in action all semester. Season tickets start at just $80, and don't miss your chance to be part of the More Madness. Visit the BCU box office or go online to bcuathletics.com/tickets today. Basketball will return to Moore Gym on Monday, January 26th, as the men's team faces off against the Alcorn State Braves beginning at 7 p.m. Student admission is free, or get your tickets at bcuathletics.com/tickets. Every moment will be live for free on youtube.com/CatEye Network, or listen live at bcuathletics.com/radio. All right, Jade, let's talk about the big cheese this afternoon. ESPN in town.
The big cheese.
ESPN in town. 2 first-place teams going head-to-head, Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman. The men. It's going to be a great atmosphere. At 4 p.m., you're going to want to get yourself down here to Moore Gym if you're not here already.
I'm so excited. It's going to be such a huge opportunity for not only the program, obviously, but just this atmosphere to be put on a national stage. You love to see this team compete day in and day out. They do such a good job at practice, and they're led by head coach Reggie Theus, who's also our AD, Vice President of Athletics here, who's done such a good job of trying to get this school on a national stage. First Take was here. ESPN back again at the second time. It's going to be an exciting game. Again, jostling, for first place. All the marbles today.
Well, you know I like my statistics.
Oh,
and
I
you
love
like
it.
my trends.
Yes.
But I found a trend that is not very good concerning the men's game this evening. The Wildcats are 0-3
Is it time?
in this gym when ESPN is in the building since 2021. Wildcat women still battling against Jackson State here late in the first half. Madison Holden leading the Wildcats with 6 of their 11 points. Jordan Brooks spinning, putting up a shot, no good, way off the mark. And Jalea Cotton races forward for the Tigers. Jada Patton, around it goes. Cotton in the corner, off the front of the rim. 0 for 4 from beyond the arc in the second quarter for Jackson State after they were 3 of 7 in the first quarter. One of the reasons they helped build that 18-5 lead at the end of one. Janessa Kelly trying to get free. She fires along too. That'll be an offensive foul on Derasia Pitts, so she got a push off underneath.
I want to talk about the stat that you just said. When ESPN. This year they're 0-3.
Yep. Lost to Alcorn State the first year, Alabama State, and then Jackson State.
You want your team to just shine the brightest when the big lights are on you. That's the most exciting part is being an athlete is the big stage, the bright lights, the playing for first place. It's so exciting. I hope this team turns it around this afternoon.
Well, they're coming off of what might be described as the game of the year last Monday. Long rebound comes down to Tuchawa. Big East resets to McCall and around to Cotton. Around the screen. Brown got double teamed, lost the handle. And here comes Madison Holden. All the way to the cup and got the layup. 8 first half points for Madison Holden. She's the top scorer in the game. Tuchawa bullies her way to the cup. And the Wildcat fans not happy. That wasn't called a charge the other way.
Crowd not happy about it either.
Now Tuchawa takes the scoring lead back with 9.
I like the way that Sinai Tyler plays, though. She's not afraid to take some contact.
Holden slipping again on that right baseline.
Great save. Scared that there was going to be injury there.
She tried to throw it down low to Tyler, too strong. Pegese picks it off. Pegese couldn't find Tuchawa, and it'll be Wildcat basketball.
There's a little bit of contact between McCall, who's going to the bench right now for Jackson State, and Madison Holden. She was looking right in front of the refs, any sort of call there, but nothing was called.
There's been a lot of contact, but not very many fouls called. The Wildcats have only 4 free throws, and Jackson State has only 2 free throws in the contest. And we mentioned one of my keys to the game was trying to get to the free throw line. That hasn't really happened yet for the Wildcats. 28-13 late in the first. Dorsey gets to her spot, finishes just inside the free throw line on the short corner on the left. Dorsey off the mark, her first field goal of the game. Wildcats trap out high. Just trying to keep Jackson State way outside the three-point line. Rima Pegese wasn't ready, and the ball clanks off her head. Dorsey open in the corner, gets closed down by Cotton. Dorsey. Johnson didn't even hit the rim on that one.
I thought headers were only in soccer. We're bringing in basketball.
Apparently not, and that basketball hurts more than a soccer ball does.
You knew I was going to say something about that. You had to.
Listen, you got 2 soccer people up commentating this basketball game. Free ball, no good. I'm surprised we haven't called an offsides yet.
Hey, we're good at our job. We know.
Now Pegese takes a tumble. 10 seconds left in the first half. Wildcats looking for one final flurry, down 28-15. Janessa Kelly fires and misses off to the left. Full court heave for Wilkinson comes up short. And the Wildcats make just 6 field goals in the first half. 4 of them by Madison Holden, and trail 28-15.
The Wildcats just haven't had anybody put any real points on the board except for Holden. They can't put all that pressure on her. And then on the defensive end, they have made some stops, and they've done a really good job of being disciplined in their style. Is that sustainable the rest of the game? We'll see in the second half. But with limited bench players to put on in terms of subs, it's going to be a lot of relying on how can they just stop the momentum of Jackson State and then implement their style as it goes on.
We'll take a break for halftime. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll have your first half statistical breakdown, and we'll go around the SWAC as well as we get you set for a full day of conference action here in Welcome back to more Gymnasium. It's halftime between Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State. The Tigers lead the Wildcats 28-15. Here are your first half scoring totals. First for Jackson State, Tuchawa leads all scorers with 9 points on 4 of 7 from the floor. Patton has 5, McCall has 3, Wilkinson has 3, Pegues has 2, Cotton has 2, Grant has 2, and O'Neill has 2. The only player that has not scored for Jackson State is Michaela Brown, and she has the second most minutes of anybody in that first half on Jackson State with 13, but she does have a game-high 7 rebounds. For Bethune-Cookman, Madison Holden has 8 of the Wildcats' 15 points on 4 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3. Kamani Dorsey has 3 points, Kaylin Peters has 2, and Maya Johnson has 2. Team stats look like this. Jackson State out-rebounding Bethune-Cookman 26-14 and 12-4 on the offensive glass. That includes a 10-4 gap in second chance points in favor of the Tigers. Jackson State's moving the ball around, 9 assists to 1 in favor of Jackson State. The Wildcats have 3 blocks to JSU's 1. Both teams have 2 points on the fast break. Both teams have 6 steals, and points off turnovers favors Jackson State 12-10. The scoring splits look like this. Jackson State was 12 of 33 in that first half. That's 36.4%. And 23% from 3, 3 of 13, all 3 of those in the first quarter. 50%, just 1 of 2 from the free throw line. For Bethune-Cookman, they were 6 of 24, 25% in the first half, 0 of 5 from three-point range, 75%, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And that is the tale of the tape in the first half. Going quickly around the SWAC, all of the games in the women's basketball landscape later. We got the early start here this morning. That's Texas Southern hosting Alabama State, Prairie View A&M hosting Texas Southern hosting Alabama A&M, Prairie View A&M hosting Alabama State, Southern hosting Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Florida A&M hosting Alcorn State. All those games later. And Mississippi Valley State against Grambling State is been postponed due to the oncoming winter storm. Mississippi Valley State choosing to stay at home this weekend.
Probably smartest.
Yeah. The results from Thursday night: Southern beat Mississippi Valley 69-46. Florida A&M beat Jackson State 68-63. Alabama A&M beat Prairie View 68-41. Prairie View, despite having C.J. Wilson and Crystal Schultz, the 2 top scorers in the league, still are winless in conference play. Alabama State beat Texas Southern 82-74. Alcorn State beat Bethune-Cookman 56-51. And Grambling State beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 56-54. Taking a look at the women's standings in the SWAC right now, we got a 3-way tie coming into the day at 5-1 between Southern, Alabama A&M, and Alcorn State. Florida A&M and Texas Southern have 4 wins. Alabama State, Grambling State, Pine Bluff, and Valley all have 3 wins. Jackson State has 2. Bethune-Cookman has 1, and Prairie View is 0-7. Once again, Michael Toretto and Jade Barquette. Wow.
It's okay.
It's a long day, and I'm already screwing that up.
We're good.
Jade Barquette here at the broadcast says, Jade, the Wildcats have dug themselves a pretty big hole, bigger than they had at any time on Thursday night. Their largest deficit was 11 against Alcorn. They fought their way back and were almost in that game in the fourth quarter. What's going to happen, especially offensively, for the Wildcats to fight back in this one?
They just have to take a breather and do the simple things correctly. They're trying to overcomplicate the game a little bit on the offensive end. Just get the ball into your shooter's hands, and if that's Madison Holden going to be in this game, who has the most points for them with 8, it's going to be her. The largest lead for Jackson State in this was 16 points, and they led for 19 minutes and 14 seconds of that first half. That is almost the entire thing.
Well, the only Wildcat lead was 2-1.
Right, exactly. And so they have to make sure that they are starting this third quarter, the second half of the game, hot. And then they can't let that deter them, because Jackson State will continue to score. Can they just continue to press the issue and not let the numbers on the scoreboard deter them from trying to score points?
Both of these teams towards the bottom of the SWAC conference standings. Jackson State 2-4, Bethune-Cookman 1-5. Remember, all 12 teams do make the tournament this year, but if you are that 10 to 12 seed, you got to play 5 games if you want to win your way all the way to the championship. So it's a long week, and you want to be in the upper bracket. We'll talk about this a lot with the men, right, fighting for those top 2 seeds, they get the double bye all the way to Wednesday, and they only potentially have to play 3 games.
Yeah, that would be huge. A difference between 5 and 3, especially in postseason play. You want to be playing your best basketball towards the end of the season, but you don't want to wait too long. This is where the teams just need to figure out what works for us, what doesn't, and stick to what works, carry them the rest of the year.
Wildcats will start with Dorsey, Butler, Peters, Tyler, and trying to see who that last player is on the floor. Oh, Sinai Tyler. Jackson State will run out the same 5 they started the game with: Cotton, McCall, Brown, Pegues, and Chuchoa. Wildcats will have the ball first. They'll go right to left in this second half. We're in the all gold. Jackson State in the navy blue, working left to right. 28-15 the score. 20 minutes left in this contest. Peters on the outside, looking for somewhere to go with the ball. Elevator screen for Holden back to the top. She goes around Sinai Tyler and then hands it back to Butler, top of the key. Shovels back to Holden, 10 on the shot clock. Holden gets to her spot, fires a long 2 and buries it. Madison Holden up to 10 points.
Great way to start the second half for the Wildcats.
Holden just averaging 5.6 on the season, already doubled that 30 seconds into the second half. Pegues in the short corner. Kick out to Cotton. She'll go on the baseline. Kick back to Pegues for a wing 3, too strong. Brown with the box out for the rebound, and she'll get fouled. It'll be an over the back.
Yeah, KP was all over there on the backside, but going back to that Madison Holden score for the Wildcats, they just looked more patient and allowed the play to develop. They didn't try to force anything, and Holden found her open opportunity and converted.
Madison Holden, the junior from Reseda, California. Her top scoring output this season is 13. Mid-range jumper short, rebound Butler. So she's 3 points away from matching her season high. Dorsey around the double high screen, left to right. Back to Holden with 14 on the shot clock. Holden drives past Pegues all the way in, up and under, just a little too strong on the layup, and it'll go to Jackson State out of bounds. But Madison Holden, you can see, trying to take over this game.
Yeah, it's going to be her and Damani Dorsey are going to be the 2 that are going to take over this game for the Wildcats. You see them up front here trying to press a little bit on Jackson State on the defensive side, but they're going to be the main point producers for the Wildcats. They have been this entire first half.
Tough catch for Brown off after McCall was double teamed. Here's a corner 3 for Rima Pegues. She only had 2 in the first half, 1 for 4 from the floor. There's a big triple for the top scorer for Jackson State.
They're going to continue to shoot the 3 ball like we've mentioned. 10 for 18 for the entire team, 55.6% in their game against FAMU from 3.
Holden. Sinai Tyler can't get past the Chowa. Now it's Damani Dorsey's chance to pull up and bury a mid-range jump shot.
Right over Pegues. It was huge for Monty there to secure that 2-pointer.
Wildcats will once again trap hard at the half-court line. Now drop back into a 2-3 zone. Brown down low to Chowa, poked away, but it'll stay with Jackson State.
You saw Sinai Tyler just shift out wide to beyond the arc, and that left number 20, Brown, open for Jackson State. They did get the ball to her, but KP doing a really good job of covering Sinai Tyler coming over. They just couldn't keep the ball in bounds there.
Brown to the corner, back to Pegues. No correction, this is O'Neal. Back down to Brown. Kick to the corner, McCall a 3. Misses everything, but the rebound is there. Put back Pegues, no good. Sinai Tyler rips down the board, and here come the Cats. Madison Holden with a head of steam. A 3 from the wing, too strong for Damani Dorsey. A fight for the rebound, goes into the corner. And a whistle and a foul called on Madison Holden. Holden picks up her 3rd foul, so the bit worrying for the Wildcats' top scorer and the top scorer in the game right now with 10 points.
Yeah, she has to be aware of that number. Jordan Brooks and her have been trading off time. They're both going to be on the court together right now, but Holden, a key piece for the Wildcats. They need her.
Wildcats going a really small lineup with 3 guards. Wilkinson and McCall sizing up Jordan Brooks. Back to Wilkinson as Jackson State get ready to make 2 changes. Chichawa against Butler, spinning, laying it up, too good, too strong, got her own rebound off a deflection. Got a shot blocked by Butler, got it back, chased into the corner by Tyler Butler. What a defensive possession for Tyler Butler. It'll stay with Jackson State with 13 on the clock as Grant and Patton enter for Jackson State.
Tyler Butler has had this relentless energy in these last, honestly, 4 games for the Wildcats, whether that be putting up points, 11 in the last 2, 13 in their game against Alcorn, or on the defensive end.
Jordan Brooks gets the steal on the inbounds pass. She walks into a mid-range jumper, misses it short. Rebound for Sinai Tyler. Tries to keep her plant foot down and can't finish under the rim.
She didn't really know where she was on the court there, thought she was a little bit more in front of the rim than she was.
McCall running against Holden. And a foul called on Tyler Butler as she tried to go up and block Jada Patton. Tyler Butler picks up her first. Again, I mentioned that rebounding disparity, 32-17 in favor of Jackson State, 16 offensive rebounds. Jackson State is the best team in the SWAC at denying offensive rebounds to their opponents. But getting offensive rebounds themselves, they're middle of the pack, 14 per game. Free throw missed by Patton. Madison Holden staying in the game with 3 fouls. She's been the only Wildcat to consistently get offense in this game. Dorsey couldn't penetrate the painted area. Elevator screen for Holden. Down low, it's Maya Johnson. She got hacked by Layla Grant, who protests her innocence.
I don't see anything innocent about that one. Saw her immediately put her hands on Johnson there. Another opportunity for the Wildcats to just add points right here from the charity stripe.
Maya Johnson got to cash these in, shooting under 50% from the stripe, 7 of 16 on the year. First one, drop of the bucket though. On Thursday night, they only had 1 free throw attempt and missed it on an and 1 opportunity. She did have 6 points, 4 boards in only 15 minutes. Maya Johnson is usually used to getting a lot fewer minutes than that.
Yeah, they've relied on her a lot more down the stretch here.
McGee steps through the double team. Patton down low, and an easy one for Layla Grant. That's how you beat the press.
Absolutely, just got right behind the defense. And for Maya Johnson, just didn't see her at all.
You got to peel back so fast from that press once it gets broken. Johnson gets the ball down low. Oh, we got another bell rung as Jada Patton has that ball go off the rim and off the back of her head. Everybody got to keep their head on a swivel today.
Tough noggins for Jackson State.
We've had Pregame get hit, now Patton. We had our volleyball coach, Coach Britt, get whacked on the sideline off a wayward pass. Everybody got to keep their heads on a swivel today. Tyler, nice positioning as she'll go to the free throw line. I love that out of bounds play because the inbound receiver has her chest to the baseline and is getting doubled. So you think that they're going to trap on the baseline, and then you fake the handoff to the inbounds pass. That draws the defenders out. I really like that play.
Me too. And you're either going to get points of it in the run of play or you're going to go to the line.
So Sinai Tyler, the Chicago native, at the free throw line, will get the first. Tyler leads this team in rebounds, over 110 on this season, 6.5 per game. We thought early on in the non-conference that Sinai Tyler was going to be more of an offensive force. Those early games against UCF and Miami and Albany State. She's kind of cooled off offensively at the start of conference play. But she sinks both free throws there.
And she's been a consistent piece of the lineup regardless of her production on the points on the stat sheet. And she's a loud presence on the defensive end, going to dictate her team. You can see her now just making sure they know what they're going.
Outside Cotton. Brooks does well to deny her shooting space. O'Neal driving right, throws it up at the end of the shot clock. It didn't hit the rim, and that's a violation. The hero of that possession was Jordan Brooks.
Yeah.
There was multiple times they wanted to get an outside shot look, and she was in their face every time, and that'll take us to the third quarter. Media timeout. Wildcats on top in this quarter, 7-6. Follow the Wildcats like never before and listen to every CatEye Network broadcast live for free. Just head to bcuathletics.com/radio on your computer or mobile device to hear the hometown radio call of every Wildcat home game and select road games for free. Don't miss a second of the action. That's bcuathletics.com/radio. We appreciate all of you tuning in on the radio side today.
Yeah.
It's Jackson State 34, Bethune-Cookman 22, 4:54 to go third quarter. A lot better offensively to start this third quarter, Jade, especially trying to get the ball in the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I think they're doing a really good job on the defensive end, being disciplined and not allowing Jackson State to just kind of walk all over them, and they're getting to their spots quickly as well. We saw that one time with Maya Johnson where she just completely lost Grant there, who snuck in behind her, but way better coming out of halftime for the Wildcats. Again, is it a little too late because they dug themselves in such a hole? I don't know yet. They have to make some stops on the defensive end for Jackson State to just stop putting points up the board.
Madison Holden with those 3 personal fouls. She's the top scorer for the Wildcats with 10 points and indeed this top scorer in the game. Pierre Noel Chuchawa has 9 points to lead Jackson State on a very efficient 4 of 9 from the floor. Jackson State also has 4 threes, 4 of 16 from beyond the arc. Wildcats do not have a 3-pointer in the game. But I think the Wildcats on offense have carved out a little bit of a niche for themselves, trying to drive the lane, trying to draw double teams, and then move the ball off of that.
Yeah, a little drive in and then create some separation between their defender, and that mid-range jumper is huge, especially for Madison Holden, who's back on the court. Imani Dorsey has implemented that a little bit in her game as well.
Now we'll see Jackson State look to pick up full court man here. They'll back off. Holden controls the ball. Entry pass high post to Tyler. Tyler attacking O'Neal. Picks up her dribble, retreats to to Holden at the top of the key. Holden tries to create her own shot. And she does on the baseline. How about that?
I think we got another header too. I'm not sure who it came off of, but I did see the ball bouncing.
We're keeping track now, huh? Wildcats back down by just 10. They've trailed by as many as 16 in the contest. In the left-hand corner, Angel Wilkinson, who had 18 on Thursday against Florida A&M. Cameron O'Neal drives, gets past. Tyler got her shot rejected by Maya Johnson. That is the difference between the 6'2" Maya Johnson and the 5'9" Cameron O'Neal. 6 on the shot clock, and the Tigers almost turn it over. A scramble in front of their bench, and thrown out of bounds. Wildcat ball, great defense.
They have been like mosquitoes all over Jackson State there, especially on this last play. You saw them just buzzing around, trying to get in their face and disrupt their rhythm. They do so very well there and get the ball back.
I wonder if Coach Brittany Williams, our volleyball coach, was watching that 2-hand volleyball style block from Maya Johnson.
We're getting a mix of every sport here today.
Holden, dogged by Wilkinson. Holden goes left, splits a double team, up and under. Oh, baby, what a bucket. A season high for Madison Holden as she gets up to 14.
Huge for the Wildcats. Again, just making her own plays happen. Huge for the Wildcats.
Cotton will not get a chance to attack the basket because Coach Margaret Richards wants to talk things over. A 2-minute scoreless drought for the Tigers, and the Wildcats have rattled off an 11-6 start to this third quarter, and the game is within 10. It's an 8-point contest. Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman Athletics to the fullest, featuring all new items. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. You're gonna want to go there. Baseball season starting. Woo! Just over 2 weeks before baseball season. You're going to rep your championship merch.
Yes.
Before the Wildcats take the field against Bradley in a couple weeks.
So exciting.
And we talked about the softball team, right? 17 freshmen, 18 newcomers, a completely different look to that team. Baseball, completely the other way. They returned 7 of their 9 starters of a team that won the SWAC championship last May.
They have so many people that are returning, like SWAC co-hitter of the year, SWAC relief pitcher of the year, first team all-SWAC members, second team all-SWAC members. This team is stacked like they were last season. It's going to be about how can they carry that momentum from last season, use that target on their back to be purposeful and not just create pressure for them.
And have been getting some national preseason attention. There was a D1 baseball article about the Wildcats a couple weeks ago. Mitch Davis, who's a sports writer up in Memphis, did an article about Wildcat baseball the other day.
Yeah, but it's a good time to be baseball, softball in the Wildcats. Head coach Johnny Hernandez, SWAC coach of the year. He's coming back for his 7th season.
But you know as well as I do, it is much harder being the hunter, or the hunted, excuse me, than the hunter. Everybody's going to give the Wildcats their best shot this year.
We see it in our men's basketball team, too, ranked #1 in the preseason.
Pegues, corner 3, that was big.
Yeah, that was
really big for Jackson State.
Especially coming out of that timeout, stopping the momentum of Bethune-Cookman. Can they come back here and get right back into how they were going? Madison Holden still on the court for the Wildcats.
Wildcats do not have a 3 in the game. Tyler kicking. Brooks didn't get a great catch on that pass to shoot the 3. Holden baseline drive, gets separation, dunk bucket, and the foul for Madison Holden. She is taking over more gym.
Talk about putting your team on your back. That is Madison Holden right now in this third quarter. She has come alive.
16 for Holden in the game.
I wouldn't even say she's come alive. She's been alive this whole game. It really exploded here in the third quarter.
8 of the Wildcats' 13 in this third quarter from the arms of number 23, Madison Holden, who's traveled a long way to play here college basketball, all the way from her hometown of Reseda, California.
And here they go. They start to chip away. Can they get 1 or 2 more stops and really just put Jackson State on their heels?
Jalea Cotton, one of the many senior leaders on this Jackson State team, controls the ball around the Brown screen, drives into a triple team, kick out Pegues, 3 on the way, too strong. Wildcats grab the board with Sinai Tyler. Another chance to chip away here. You know, sometimes your brain goes one way and your mouth goes the other.
That's me on an everyday basis, 24/7, when I don't have a mic in my hand.
Holden, heat check. It's a little bit too strong, but Brooks is there for the second. The putback is good.
Teammates having each other's back there. Jordan Brooks just came out of nowhere to collect that rebound and put it right back up swiftly.
You know Jordan Brooks was frustrated after going scoreless on Thursday night. He needed that one. Foul called on the baseline drive by Cotton. She'll go to the free throw line. But the Wildcats have cut it to 6. Remember, they were down by 16 at one point. This almost feels like an exaggerated version of last night's game.
Yeah.
Or Thursday night, rather.
All the days run together.
Yeah. Especially this time of year. And it's going to get worse, as you mentioned, with baseball, softball starting.
Something I want to mention, though, in this third quarter, no turnovers for the Wildcats. What a run they've been on without giving the ball up.
First free throw good for Jalea Cotton. She's a 52% free throw shooter. a senior out of Bardstown, Kentucky. First 2 college seasons at East Tennessee State. Then last year at Jackson State averaged 6 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. On a Jackson State team that made the SWAC semifinals, losing to the eventual winners, Southern. Johnson back in the game for the Wildcats. She stands in the corner. Holden to Dorsey. Dorsey attacking Brown. Tyler goes baseline, tries to rip it through. Gets the ball back, the kick out, the swing out. Holden for 3. Good! Only the 3rd 3-pointer of the season from Madison Holden. You knew she had to get one tonight. She's playing that well.
Well, so tonight Tyler was double teamed, gets the rebound, and then puts it back to Brooks, who passes it quickly to Holden, sinks it.
20 for Holden. And it's a 5-point game. I'm not sure what the stoppage is for. Oh, I think Margaret Richards called timeout.
But they are back on the court.
Wow. Wasn't there a really good basketball player back in the day? Wore number 23. Madison Holden reminded me of that right now. My goodness.
She's going to want to hear you say that.
Wildcats almost force a turnover in the backcourt. Whoa. Angel Wilkinson shot that one from outer space.
Yeah, that was from almost half court. She looked right at her coach, head coach Richards, and thought maybe something was different on the shot clock.
Yeah,
I don't know if she knew where she was.
It almost felt like they thought they had the end of the shot clock,
right.
But they called timeout, so the shot clock wasn't running that whole time. That was a weird one.
Margaret Richards just pointing to her head, just be smart on that play.
50 seconds to go in the 3rd. Maya Johnson back to the basket. Spinning past Brown, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Smiles on her face from Maya Johnson. I love the way that she plays. She just does whatever her team needs her to do, and she does it to the best of her ability. Will all her shots fall? No, but she does try all the time.
Maya Johnson, now a sophomore. Averaged 2.5 points and 1.7 rebounds as a freshman at Bethune-Cookman last year, but was, of course, sitting behind the incredible front court 1-2 punch of Chanel McDonald and Aisha Nicholson. Of course, Aisha Nicholson now one of the best players in the American Conference over at Charlotte, playing for former Jackson State head coach, who's now out there at UC Charlotte.
The sports world and how small it is should definitely be studied when it comes to overlapping people and places.
Well, the SWAC is keen among them. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Just this year in men's basketball, we had 4 coaches go to new places in the SWAC. Just rotate around. Wilkinson, short corner for Patton, got that shot rejected. Here comes Jordan Brooks with it with 15 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. The small crowd at Moore Gym has come alive here in the 3rd. Brooks back to Holden, 2. Holden with 1, lost the ball. So the Wildcats can't cash in on having the ball last right at the end of the quarter, but they still outscore Jackson State 19-11, including 16 from Madison Holden in the 3rd quarter. We're renaming the 3rd to the Holden quarter as the Wildcats trail by just 5 as we head to the 4th. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU women's basketball, follow at BCU WBB on X and Instagram. And if you're seeing something on one of our social media channels, it's a good bet that Jade had a hand in it.
Probably.
Here's our social media director here at BCU Athletics. Or if you follow the CatEye Network social media handles, everything you see there is student produced.
Yes. Take a look on CatEye Network because it is where we are trying to put as much of our student content as we can. Our students are amazing. They put so much work into our broadcasts, our socials, everything. They want to learn and give them some love.
And of course, on all of our CatEye Network broadcasts, everybody except the two of us as a student. We have production, camera work, replay, all students. We really try to empower our students here at the CatEye Network.
Sabrina, who's normally here, student, so filling in for her in these last 2 games.
I know Sabrina's listening.
Hey, girl.
We wish you were here with us, watching Madison Holden dominate.
You know, that third quarter was impeccable for the Wildcats, 19-11 in just that third quarter, so they won it. They've crawled their way back. We talked a little bit about it coming out of halftime. Can they pull back? Can they dig themselves out of this hole? Is it a little bit too late? It doesn't seem like it is for the Wildcats. Now it's all about how can they finish. They didn't finish that well against Alcorn State. They just couldn't get back into it. Can they do it here against Jackson State?
Now, I'd like to see the Wildcats, as much as Madison Holden is going off, and I love it, but I'd like to see the Wildcats try and diversify on the offensive side a little bit, because I think what Jackson State's going to do in the fourth quarter is going to try to start aggressively doubling Holden whenever she gets the ball. Jordan Brooks chases McCall back well beyond the three-point line. Here's Patton. Up fake, kick out. Patton, the step back three. Off the rim. Batted out of bounds. It'll stay with the maroon and gold.
Madison Holden does have 3 fouls, so it's something that they're going to be aware of as well. Jackson State, I'm sure, knows that too.
Jada Patton, who just took that last three-pointer, is 1 of 6 on the year from downtown. Not usually who they want the ball in the hands at the end of the shot clock, at least from three-point range.
Maybe a little bit of panic moments happening for Jackson State.
Here's a corner triple. No good by Jordan Brooks. The ball rolls free, and it'll stay with the Wildcats on a kick ball, and Madison Holden looks like she came up worse for wear in a car crash with Jalea Cotton as they both dove for the basketball. And so Kaylin Peters is going to check back in and give Holden a bit of a rest. They're going to need her down the stretch, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why.
I think she got a knee to the side from Cotton as they were battling on the ground for the ball, and I think they're going to go to the monitor here just to check that nobody got hit in the head.
Smart. You saw Damani Dorsey go right over to Holden as she was on the ground and say, I'm assuming this is what she said, please get up. We need you, girl.
And she's being checked on by the athletic trainer now, standing under her own power, just kind of stretching it out. And you see right now in the Wildcat huddle, Damani Dorsey talking almost as much as Coach Creighton Del Rosario is, really trying to be that senior leader, the voice on the floor for the Wildcats. Dorsey, 5 points of 2 of 7 tonight. Johnson 3, Tyler 2, Peters 2, Brooks 2, Holden 20. Nobody on Jackson State in double figures. Noelle Chuchawa is the closest at 9 points. Begees also has 8. Neither team has scored in the last 2.5 minutes at the start of this fourth quarter. Been a slow start for both.
A little bit of a defensive game now.
The Wildcats need to find that offensive stroke. Madison Holden, 4 of her last 5 from the floor. Can Kaylin Peters come in and be an offensive weapon here? Stepping in for Holden, she'll play that 2-guard spot. Wildcats with 20 on the shot clock will inbound baseline. Throw it up to Maya Johnson. Johnson will dribble it to her right. Look to hand to Kaylin Peters and rescreen. Peters all the way in and got the left hand layup to go.
Beautiful, nobody in her path. Well done by the Wildcats.
And great job by Maya Johnson taking 2 defenders out of the play at the top of the key with that rescreen. Drive and kick. Corner 3 for Jackson State, good. They're gonna keep hitting those threes. Angel Wilkinson on that one, her 2nd of the game. Down low again, Sinai Tyler on the extra pass. Unselfish basketball by Damani Dorsey.
The explosion of emotion from Monty there after that was scored by Sinai Tyler was amazing to see, just willing her team right now to stay in it.
Wildcats aggressively trap. The ball dribbles to the right-hand corner. Another 3, rims out. Offensive board for Patton. And another 3 by Jalea Cotton. Jackson State had 3 of their 5 threes in the first quarter, hadn't hit one until those last 2.
And they needed them.
Back to 45-38 the score. Wildcats will continue to try to work that ball down inside, and Maya Johnson had it poked away by Patton. Jackson State trying to make it 3 straight trips down the floor with a made triple. Wilkinson trying to get it done. That'll be over the back foul called against Chuchawa and give the ball back to the Wildcats as she went straight through Tyler Butler was battling for that rebound. As Madison Holden takes about 2 minutes and then comes right back in. But they did well without her on the floor.
Yeah, they did, and Jackson State was nailing threes on that drive when she was out, and it really is nothing that they can do about that. That's the name of Jackson State's game, especially in these last two games. But Madison Holden back on the court, they're going to want to feed her a little bit more too.
We'll see what Jackson State does defensively here with Holden back on the floor. She'll run the UCLA cut left to right. Tyler tries to double screen. Now she battles for position down low. Back to Jordan Brooks. Brooks, crossover. Down low, Maya Johnson takes some contact, gives it right back, flings it up, misses it. And to the ground goes Brown and Tyler, and the Wildcats will have the ball on the alternating possession. 4 seconds on the shot clock. And Maya Johnson, in those situations where she's one-on-one under the hoop, I think I wanted to look for the pass. Because she tried to put her shoulder into Michaela Brown and create some space, and Brown just stood there.
Yeah. She would be really good at drawing defenders and then facilitating out. You have your scorers on the court right now. Can you feed them the ball more too?
And we're going to go to the media timeout here. I'm not sure what, but we're going to go to a review. I'm guessing to check the clock.
Probably.
Because there's currently 4 seconds left on the shot clock. They're probably reviewing to see if the ball hits the rim, because if it hit the rim, it would reset the shot clock. Support the Wildcats like never before. Bethune-Cookman Athletics has partnered with Influxer to bring you officially licensed, co-branded NIL merchandise featuring your favorite players' names and numbers. Proceeds from each purchase directly support Wildcat student athletes. Show your support for your favorite Wildcats today at bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. I know there's going to be some Madison Holden jerseys being sold after her performance this afternoon. But the Wildcats still down 38-45. Just when they thought they'd pull it within one possession, Jackson State came alive and hit a couple threes.
And we knew that was going to happen. We knew Jackson State wasn't going to be done for the day. However, can BCU not allow them to keep going ahead? They need those stops. Take a breather once again. Get back to what they were doing in the third quarter. Simple basketball. Madison Holden came up with some big plays. Obviously, she made that three. But can they just keep them within range, not let them get too far ahead?
And I'd like to see the Wildcats try and get back to the free throw line. They shot more free throws in the third quarter than the entire first half combined that have not gotten to the line yet here in the fourth. Of course, the men's game coming up at 4 p.m. Men against Jackson State, both teams 4-1, tied for first place in the SWAC standings here in the middle of January. That'll be a CatEye Network radio-only game. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can stay right here for my radio call of the game.
I won't be with you at that one, sorry.
ESPNU will have the TV rights for the 4 p.m. game. That's why the times of these games are so weird. They wanted to give plenty of space so the women's game, if it accidentally went to overtime or it ran long, didn't back up into ESPN's time slot. That should be really exciting. Two of the top scorers in the conference, Jacoby Hetty, averaging up now to 17 points per game after a ridiculous weekend in Mississippi. He'll go up against Deshaun Ruffin, who's the leader in points per game in the SWAC, 21.6 and averaging over 30 in his last 5. There will be some elite offensive basketball on display this afternoon. But right now we got 7 minutes and 20 seconds. The ball did hit the rim after that review, so they're going to reset the shot clock, so the Wildcats will have 20 seconds to work with here.
Huge difference instead of that 4.
Johnson looking for the backdoor pass, and it's pure to KP. We talked about how we wanted Maya Johnson to facilitate. An excellent pass for the bucket there.
She did just that. KP, again, not doing too much, not too hard off the glass. Simple touch.
5-point contest. Cameron O'Neill working around the Tuchawa screen. Across to the right-hand corner, it goes for McCall. She works back to the top. McCall, big screen by Brown, and she hits the free throw line jumper over Johnson. Wildcats doing what Tigers doing what Alcorn State did on Thursday night, just keeping Bethune-Cookman at arm's length down the stretch, matching bucket for bucket. Peters sizing up Patton. Back to Jordan Brooks. Brooks got double teamed all the way in against Tuchawa. Tuchawa forces her to recover all the way out, 7 on the shot clock. Brooks, baseline, lost the handle. KP got to put up the 3. Good! I'm not sure if that pass out to Peters was intentional or not, but she buries the 3 nonetheless.
That was beautiful from KP, going back to that shooter mentality that she wants to have for this team. They're missing that sort of target striker, and she is that for Bethune-Cookman right now.
Across to Pegues in the corner, McCall. Works back to the top, guarded by Holden. Remember, he's got 3 fouls. 5 on the shot clock. McCall looking to get a shot away. 2-1, throws it up. Shot clock violation. Third shot clock violation forced tonight by the Wildcats.
There's also a theme in their game against Alcorn State. They had a few shot clock violations as well. Just them doing a very disciplined job on defense and allowing them to get inside and take a shot.
A chance to cut it to a 1-score game. Kaylin Peters on the outside, screen from Johnson. A double screen, Peters all the way in. Yes! 47-45 with 5 minutes to go. Timeout, Jackson State. That's Larry Steele on public address, getting the Moore Gym crowd excited. A lighter Moore Gym crowd than we're used to. Of course, this is really early on a Saturday. I'm not sure a lot of the students are even awake yet.
Oh, no.
You were in college once, 2 o'clock on a Saturday.
I was up. I was a student athlete. I was up. I was probably working out.
That's true. I was not a student athlete. I was asleep.
But can we talk about KP right here? She's at 11 points in this game so far. Double figures for her. The only other player in double figures for the Wildcats is Madison Holden with 20 points, who's been holding it down. A little bit quieter here as this 4th quarter has gone on. But KP really coming alive, making a statement for this team who has dragged themselves out of the hole.
Wildcats dominating the second half, have cut it to a 2-point game. 30-19 in the second half in favor of Bethune-Cookman. Now the Wildcats will go to work on the defensive end. Forced a shot clock violation last time down the floor. Jalea Cotton off balance, doesn't go. Brown, the putback, no. Another offensive rebound and a foul called, and will send Cotton to the line. And we talked early on in the game about the Wildcats not being able to get rebounds. Now almost 20 offensive rebounds for Jackson State in this game. Remember, they average just 14 per contest.
Every time you saw the ball go down, it was a Navy jersey trying to go get it. They had 3 opportunities there to put the ball back.
Reminds me of Malik Abdelgawad in the men's game against Southern 2 weeks ago when he had a double-double, 22 points, 18 rebounds. Cotton off on the first free throw, so it'll remain a 1-score game here. Jalea Cotton, this team's leader in assists with 57 and steals with 23 coming in. Hits the second. Under 5 to play. 3-point advantage for Jackson State. They've led by as many as 16. Peters. Weak side. Holden comes to collect the basketball. She's got a game-high 20 points. Holden, the hesitation, the dish to Brooks with 7. Gets inside, picks up her dribble, and walked. Dragged her pivot foot. Jackson State a chance to push it back to 2 possessions.
You saw Madison Holden just look at Jordan Brooks after that and say, it's okay, it's okay. They cannot have any mental lapses thinking that they can't do it or that's not good enough for their team. They have to get right back into the play.
Cotton chased to the corner, finds Patton. Out high, O'Neal. Left corner, McCall. McCall doubled, gives it up back to O'Neal, 10 on the shot clock. O'Neal staring down Holden between the rings. Directing traffic in front with 3, with 2, dishes it, baseline jumper, good. Michaela Brown, and they're gonna review it to see if she got the shot off in time. I think she did.
I was gonna say the opposite. I don't know if she did. It was really, really close. It might have been when she was jumping up that it went 0, but I don't know if the ball had left her hand yet.
So many parallels to the game on Thursday night against Alcorn State. The big deficit, the comeback, and then right at the end, the Wildcats trying to push through and just being held at arm's length. Jackson State now up 5 if this jumper is good by Michaela Brown. But a quiet night for Brown. That would be her first 2 points of the night, was 0 of 5 shooting before that, but does have 9 rebounds. Tonight, Tyler also has 9 rebounds for the Wildcats. Some more statistical leaders. Angel Wilkinson has 5 steals for Jackson State. 2 steals apiece for Kaylin Peters and Jordan Brooks. 3 blocks apiece for Tyler Butler and Maya Johnson. The Wildcats have 6 blocks tonight, well above their season average of 2.8 blocks per game. Jackson State, remember that what we talked about coming into the game, Jade, they're averaging under a block per contest, only 15 blocks on the season, fewest in the country in Division I. They do have 2 blocks tonight. But you look at their roster construction, 6'4", Michaela Brown, 6'4", Ruth Mbugwa, 6'1", Mackenzie Sturt, 6 foot tall, Noelle Tuchawa, and yet they're last in the country in blocks with all that front court height.
That's really interesting. I don't understand why. Maybe they just don't get their hands up enough to try to block it?
I was talking to Rob, who's over on the other side of the gym doing the Jackson State radio broadcast, and he was as mystified as I am. Of course, Jackson State without the services of Leanna Massenet. She was big for them last year, averaged 10.7 points. She's out for the year with an injury. Ruthie Mbugwa not playing tonight, neither Mackenzie Stort. So both players working with some short benches. We haven't seen Mariah Reed-Jones for Jackson State yet, but everybody else we've seen touch the floor. For the Wildcats, they've played a really short bench. We haven't seen Kiara Gregory. We haven't seen Jade Parks. We've seen no basket shot clock violation.
Janessa Kelly has also played very minimal minutes for the Wildcats.
Yep.
They've really been sticking with what's been working for them so far. Damani Dorsey has been a little bit quiet here in this 4th quarter. She's been on the bench a little bit. Wonder if we'll see her as the time ticks down.
But another shot clock violation forced by Bethune-Cookman. That's 2 in the 4th quarter now. Down by 3. 4 minutes to go. KP in the corner on a handoff from Brooks around the double screen. Almost lost the handle in the paint, got it back, throws up a layup, no good. Johnson lost the ball out of bounds on the rebound. She thought she should have got fouled for a trip. No call forthcoming, and Jackson State has another chance to push the lead. Again, the parallels with Alcorn State from Thursday night. The Wildcats within 3, but just cannot get it beyond that.
I was a little bit confused why that wasn't called a foul. There was a lot of contact on Maya Johnson
Well, they
there.
haven't called a lot of fouls
No, they
tonight.
haven't.
Nobody's
Right.
got more than 3 personals in the ball game. Only 11 personal fouls for the Wildcats and 9 for Jackson State. So very low on the foul calls tonight. Referees letting them play through a lot of contact.
I appreciate that.
Wilkinson off the mark. Rebound Sinai Tyler. Madison Holden had the third quarter to remember, but has not scored yet in the fourth. KP dribbles the ball off her foot. Another turnover for the Cats, and another chance for Jackson State to push the lead. Wildcats will back off a little bit of that aggressive press they've been running for most of this second half. O'Neal against Brooks, forces her left with Holden shadowing. Brooks forces the turnover and gets fouled. Even though she only has 2 points tonight, Jordan Brooks on the defensive end has been an absolute monster.
Yeah, and size does not matter. That girl is playing beyond her height right now. She just jumped up and tried to block that pass and did, and her teammates right behind her to get the ball back. That is a player who wants to win, willing her team to do everything she can to.
Listed at just 5'3", Jordan Brooks, one of the top players in Georgia high school basketball history in terms of offensive production. KP on the baseline, back to Johnson. Johnson looks for the handoff to Peters, driving in, Euro step. No, missed the layup. Wild rebound grabbed by Sinai Tyler, and she, commits the offensive foul against Jada Patton.
Sinai Tyler has been so good getting those rebounds from her teammates' shots. I don't really know if that's an offensive foul, though.
Wow.
You saw Madison Holden once again just turn around to her teammates and just say, calm down. Time is ticking down, but they haven't. Jackson State is only 3 points ahead of them.
Both teams scoreless for 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
It's been a defensive battle here.
The call, shadowed by Jordan Brooks. 2:20 to go. Patton has the ball ripped away by Kaylin Peters. Peters down the floor, flying in. Oh, she didn't have a good angle for the shot.
It almost looked like she got hit by Cotton while she was going up for that.
Damani Dorsey's gonna check back in. 2 minutes to go. Here is Cotton. Another deflected pass and a steal by Brooks. Brooks all the way. Got the foul called. And she took a hard fall on her right shoulder beyond the baseline.
We've talked about Maya Johnson a little bit throughout this game, but she was a part of both of those turnovers for the Wildcats. Hitting that ball away, Jordan Brooks securing on the last one, and then tipping the ball for KP to take down the court the play before that.
The Wildcats have had so many chances to take the lead here in late, just have not been able to find it. 3:33 without a point for the Wildcats, but still only down by 3. But when they went on that long scoreless run in the first quarter and let Jackson State get out to that big lead, how did they break it? How did they find momentum? They found it from the free throw line, and Jordan Brooks makes it a 2-point game. The last time it was a 2-point game was 5-3.
I was about to say, a real long time ago.
Yeah. Misses the second. Brown for the board. 1:43 left and counting. Margaret Richards, the former Alabama A&M coach, calls the play. Now in her second year with Jackson State. It's been a tough start to conference play for both of these teams. Brown at the free throw line. Gives it up. It's their top scorer, Rima Pegues. In the corner for McCall. Cotton against Brooks, puts it up, no good! The ball is with Madison Holden. Here comes the play call. They want a double screen at the top and they'll get it. Holden goes right, around Johnson, nothing there. Tyler attacks against Chuchoa. Ball will stay with the Wildcats. I'd love to see that inbound, that short corner inbounds play we saw in the third corner that got Sinai Tyler wide open for a layup. And Coach Creighton's going to call timeout to draw something up here.
They do have a little bit more time, 12 seconds on the shot clock here to really create a play that will either tie the game or make them go ahead. I'm sure they're not going to try for that three-point shot just because they don't shoot that many threes, but the opportunity to tie the game is right in here for the taking.
Under 60 ticks remaining. What did I tell you on Thursday?
Ooh.
Moore Gym does not do boring games.
No, they don't.
This game was 18-2 with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We thought, I certainly thought that it was going to be one of those days. Turns out Madison Holden and Kaylin Peters had other ideas.
They heard you and said, absolutely not, Mike. They're not going down like this today, just trying to pull themselves out. They've done such a good job and really have put a stop sign to anything Jackson State's tried to do.
Nobody in foul trouble, nobody with more than 3. 3 team fouls in the fourth for Jackson State, 2 for the Wildcats. So if it comes down to a free throw shooting situation, the Wildcats are not in a very good position. And they're gonna have to waste a lot of time fouling. They tried the short corner again. Holden off balance, not that time. You almost expect everything she throws up to go in at this point. 20 points for Madison Holden on the night. The Wildcat crowd. Now a foul called on Holden. That's her 4th. The first player to 4 in the game. But the Wildcat crowd trying to buoy their Wildcats to one more defensive stop and then have a chance on the other end. It'll be a fresh 20 on the shot clock for Jackson State. The Tigers can run down almost half of the game clock that is left. To Choa. And they'll just play keep away and the Wildcats will foul, and Coach Creighton, I don't think, wanted them to. She throws her board to the ground in frustration. And Madison Holden will pick up her 5th foul and she's done. And I think that was what Coach was mad about, a massive mistake by Madison Holden. 20 points in the game, her career high. And she's gonna have to sit for the last 35 seconds.
I don't think she knew.
And I can read Coach's lips. You have to know in that situation.
Yep.
10-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Wildcats will play defense this time. Does Pegues have something to say about the end of this game? What about Cotton? Oh, Cotton off the window and the rim. A massive bucket to make it a 4-point game with 18 seconds. That might just seal it for Jackson State.
Oh, and this is just, you can see it on the faces of the Wildcats, just a little bit of despair on their face. They've done such a good job in this 3rd and 4th quarter of trying to get back into this game as much as they can. They were down by 3. And Jackson State making that shot, and Madison Holden just not knowing that she had 4 fouls, commits that one to make it 5, and now out of the game.
So now the Wildcats, they called timeout. They're gonna advance the ball to the front court. They gotta get a quick bucket and then look to pressure the inbounds here.
And the
next foul would send Jackson State to the line.
And the pressure for them has worked in this game. They've done a very disciplined job of dictating where they want Jackson State to be and denying them shots too when it gets down to it. The shot clock will be off. Only 18.5 seconds left in this game, so it's about how can they position themselves to pick the ball off once they do score this bucket.
50-46. I did say early in the game, the Wildcats want to hold their opponents to under 60 points. But the offense, again, outside of Madison Holden and at times Kaylin Peters, has not been consistent enough tonight. Do the Wildcats have one more punch in them? No, they do not. Jalea Cotton says, oh, misses it. Misses the layup, 13 seconds left. Wildcats gotta get a quick one here. Still down 4, gotta get a quick bucket. Peters lost the ball. Pegues grabs it into the front court, and that will be the end. A discombobulated end for the Wildcats as they will drop another heartbreaker at home, and the losing streak will go to 6. Wow.
You just kind of shake your head at this one, honestly, and you feel for the team. They did everything they could to try to get back into this game, but again, just weren't aware of where they were on the court for some time and then just couldn't keep the ball in their hands.
Rima Pegis, the best free throw shooter in the conference, is at the line, and she will ice it.
Yeah.
Jackson State is going to survive a second half onslaught from Bethune-Cookman. 52-46, the Wildcats had it within 2. It was 48-46, and the Wildcats once again go cold the last 2 minutes, just like last night. They got it within 1 possession, but could never get within. They could never tie it, could never take the lead. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions club today. That's bcuathletics.com/champions club. Well, the Wildcats will fall to 3-17, 1-6 in the SWAC. Jackson State will improve to 5-14, 3-4 in the conference. Next week, the Wildcats go on the road, a very tough road swing against Alabama State and Alabama A&M. And Jackson State will be at home against Southern and Grambling. A late heave at the horn is no good, and the final score, Jackson State survives 52-46. And the story of the game is, again, that slow start, being down 16 points in the first quarter and just not being able to climb your way out of it despite a really good second half from Madison Holden.
And honestly, I don't even think it's really about how they started this game because they were right there towards the end. I just think those last finishing touches where they just have to have those clutch moments and put the ball away, aware of where they are. Madison Holden just making a mistake at the end, not knowing how many fouls she had, and then just taking care of the ball down the stretch. You have to do the little things right, especially if you're losing and you're trying to come back. They just didn't do that towards the end of this game.
Here are your final scoring totals for this afternoon's contest. First for Jackson State. Rima Pegis had 10, Jalea Cotton had 10. Pierre-Noel Tuchawa had 9, Patton had 6, Wilkinson had 6, McCall had 5, Grant had 4, and O'Neill had 2. For the Wildcats, Madison Holden goes for a career-high 20 on 9 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, only her third three-pointer hit of the season, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds and a steal. Kaylin Peters was the other Wildcat in double figures, 11 points on 4 of 12 shooting, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Dorsey had 5, Tyler had 4, Brooks had 3, and Johnson had 3 after having a game-high 13 on Thursday night. Tyler Butler held scoreless on just 1 shot attempt with 5 rebounds tonight. Here are your team stats. Jackson State dominated on the glass, out-rebounding Bethune-Cookman 43-34 and 20-13 on the offensive glass. Second chance points favored the Wildcats, however, 16-14, so they were more efficient on their putbacks. Didn't matter in the end. 14 assists to just 5 in favor of Jackson State. Both teams turned the ball over 20 times. Bethune-Cookman had more points off of those turnovers, 17-14. Both teams had 10 steals. The Wildcats had 6 blocks, 3 for Maya Johnson, 3 for Tyler Butler. 4 points on the fast break for Jackson State, 3 for Bethune-Cookman. 20 points in the paint for Bethune-Cookman, 18 for Jackson State. Shooting splits are like this. Jackson State shot 31%, 19 of 60 from the floor, 28% from 3, 7 and 25. A big difference in the game. They were hitting the threes. The Wildcats didn't really attempt that many and couldn't buy them when they did. They were also 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Bethune-Cookman 35.3% from the floor, 18 of 51, 2 out of 10 from 3, but 8 of 13 from the free throw line. I think, they didn't get to the free throw line enough. Yeah. Part of that is the referees were calling a tight game. They were swallowing the whistles a little bit, a lot of contact down inside. But 2, they excuse me, they weren't putting themselves in a position to draw the contact on those drives. They were getting to the restricted area and stopping and then trying to throw up a floater instead of driving into contact.
Yeah, they really were just trying to get as many shots as they could down and not really, I don't want to say playing smart basketball, but just not really allowing themselves to get the most out of every single play. That's something they definitely will want to go back to the drawing board and talk about in practice this week.
Once again, your final score, Jackson State 52, Bethune-Cookman 46 for Jade Barquette. Our producer, Lee Gillum, and our entire student broadcast crew here at the CatEye Network. We'll see you at 4 p.m. for CatEye Radio as Bethune-Cookman men's basketball takes on Jackson State. You can find the video for that at ESPNU, but I hope you'll join us right back here on the CatEye Network for our call of the game. Until then, we'll see you next time. Hail Wildcats.